AI is very good at some things and surprisingly bad at others. Most people mix these up, and that's where a lot of confusion begins. Hi and welcome. Before we begin, I'm curious, where are you watching this video from? Let me know in the comments. I really enjoy reading them. Now, let's talk about today's topic. To understand what AI can and cannot do, it helps to start with what it is actually good at. AI performs best in situations where patterns are clear, rules are consistent, and large amounts of data are available. It can analyze information quickly, it can recognize patterns humans would miss, and it can repeat the same task over and over without getting tired or distracted. This makes AI very effective for things like summarizing text, generating language, detecting trends, and automating routine processes. In these areas, AI can often outperform humans in speed and consistency, but this strength comes from structure, not understanding. AI does not decide what tasks matter, it does not choose goals, and it does not understand why an outcome is useful or harmful. It simply follows instructions and probabilities within a defined system. Another reason AI performs well in these situations is that the problems are usually well defined. There is a clear input, there is a clear expected output, and success can be measured objectively. When these conditions exist, AI can be extremely reliable. But as soon as uncertainty increases or context becomes important, the system has no internal way to adapt. It does not know which details matter more than others. It does not understand priorities, and it does not understand what should happen when rules conflict. This is why AI works extremely well when the problem is clearly defined, and why it struggles when the situation becomes ambiguous or context-dependent. Understanding this distinction is the first step to using AI correctly. While AI is very strong in structured situations, there are clear areas where it consistently performs poorly. AI struggles whenever understanding context is more important than recognizing patterns. It struggles when rules are unclear. And it struggles when decisions require judgment rather than calculation. AI does not understand why a situation matters. It does not understand values. And it does not understand how decisions affect people in the real world. For example, AI can generate advice that sounds reasonable on the surface, but it cannot judge whether that advice is appropriate for a specific person or situation. It does not understand emotional context. It does not understand ethical boundaries, and it does not understand long-term consequences. AI also struggles when goals are ambiguous. Humans often work with incomplete information. They make decisions based on intuition, experience, and responsibility. They adjust their behavior when circumstances change. AI cannot do this on its own. It requires clearly defined objectives and constraints. When those are missing or conflicting, the system has no internal way to decide what should take priority. Another limitation is responsibility. AI does not feel accountability when something goes wrong. It does not learn from mistakes in a human sense, and it does not reflect on outcomes beyond updating patterns. Because of this, AI should not be used in situations where judgment, ethics, or responsibility are central. These limitations do not mean AI is useless. They mean AI must be used within the boundaries it was designed for. Understanding what AI is bad at is just as important as understanding what it does well, because misuse often comes from ignoring these limits. One of the biggest reasons people misunderstand AI is because they tend to trust it more than they should. When AI produces answers that sound confident, clear, and well structured, people naturally assume that those answers are reliable. As humans, we are used to associating confidence with knowledge. If something explains an idea clearly and without hesitation, we assume it understands the topic. AI takes advantage of this expectation, not because it intends to mislead, but because of how it generates language. The system has learned how confident explanations usually sound. It has learned how experts phrase ideas. And it has learned how arguments are typically structured in human writing. This means AI can produce responses that feel authoritative, even when the information is incomplete or incorrect. Another reason people overtrust AI is convenience. AI provides answers instantly, it removes friction, and it reduces the effort required to think through a problem. Over time, this can make people less likely to question the output. They may accept answers without verifying them, simply because the response arrived quickly and sounded reasonable. This is especially risky in situations where accuracy, context, or responsibility matter. AI does not signal uncertainty the way humans do. It does not hesitate. It does not express doubt. And it does not warn you when it is guessing. This creates the illusion of certainty. Because of this, people may rely on AI in situations where human judgment is required, assuming the system knows more than it actually does. Understanding this tendency to overtrust AI is important, not because AI is dangerous by default, but because misuse often comes from misplaced confidence. Recognizing that AI sounds more certain than it truly is helps people stay critical, cautious, and involved in the decision-making process. Because AI sounds confident and responds quickly, it is sometimes used in places where it should not be trusted. AI should not be used in situations where judgment, responsibility, or ethical decisions are required. This includes decisions that affect people's safety, well-being, or long-term outcomes. AI does not understand consequences, it does not understand harm, and it does not understand responsibility. For example, AI can generate medical or legal advice that sounds reasonable, but it cannot understand the personal context of an individual situation. It cannot weigh risks the way humans do. It cannot understand when an exception should be made. And it cannot understand when following a rule might lead to a bad outcome. AI also struggles in situations where information is incomplete or constantly changing. Humans are able to adapt. They can reconsider decisions. They can pause when something feels wrong. And they can take responsibility for the result. AI cannot do this. It does not know when it should stop. It does not know when uncertainty is too high, and it does not know when human intervention is required. Using AI in the wrong context often creates the illusion of safety. Because the system responds confidently, people assume the answer is reliable. But confidence does not equal understanding. This is why AI should always be used with clear boundaries. It works best as a support tool, not as a final decision maker. Knowing where AI should not be used is essential to avoiding mistakes, protecting people, and keeping humans responsible for decisions that truly matter. The most effective way to use AI is not to replace humans, but to combine human judgment with machine efficiency. AI is very good at processing large amounts of information quickly. It can suggest options, it can highlight patterns, and it can reduce the time spent on routine work. But humans provide something AI cannot. Humans understand context, they understand values, and they understand responsibility. When humans and AI work together correctly, each plays a clear role. AI can support thinking by offering information and possibilities. Humans then decide what matters, what is acceptable, and what action should be taken. This balance is important. If humans rely too much on AI, they risk losing oversight. If they ignore AI completely, they miss useful tools that can improve efficiency and clarity. The goal is not to give AI control. The goal is to give humans better tools. In this partnership, humans remain accountable. They review AI output, they question results, and they decide when AI suggestions should be ignored. This approach allows AI to be helpful without becoming dangerous. It also keeps humans actively involved in decision-making rather than passive recipients of automated answers. When AI is used this way, it enhances human capability instead of replacing it. Understanding this relationship is key to using AI responsibly, effectively, and safely in everyday life and work. As AI becomes more common, its impact on work and society will depend less on the technology itself and more on how people choose to use it. AI will continue to automate tasks that are repetitive, predictable, and easy to measure. This will change how many jobs are performed, but it will not remove the need for people. Instead, the role of humans will shift. Less time will be spent on routine execution. More time will be spent on decision-making, oversight, and responsibility. This shift can be positive or negative, depending on how well it is managed. If people treat AI as a replacement for thinking, they risk creating systems where no one is truly responsible. Mistakes become harder to trace, and accountability becomes unclear. If people treat AI as a support tool, they can use it to improve productivity while keeping control over important decisions. This means organizations will need to define clear boundaries. They will need to decide where AI is allowed to operate independently and where human approval is required. It also means individuals will need to stay engaged. They will need to understand what AI can and cannot do, and they will need to be willing to question AI output rather than accept it blindly. Society has faced similar challenges with previous technologies. The tools changed faster than the rules, and it took time to adjust expectations and responsibilities. AI is no different. The technology itself is neutral. The outcomes depend on how thoughtfully it is integrated into human systems. Understanding this helps move the conversation away from fear and hype and toward responsibility, clarity, and long-term thinking. Moving forward, the most important skill people need is not learning how to use every new AI tool, but learning how to think clearly about what AI actually is. AI will continue to improve. It will become faster, more capable, and more widely available. But its fundamental nature will not change. It will still be a system that generates outputs based on patterns. It will still lack understanding, and it will still rely on humans to define goals, limits, and responsibility. Because of this, people need to develop a healthy mental model of AI. They need to see it neither as a magical intelligence nor as an uncontrollable threat. They need to see it as a powerful tool that must be used with intention. This means asking better questions. It means understanding when AI is helpful and when it should be questioned. and it means staying actively involved rather than passively accepting automated outputs. As AI becomes more integrated into everyday life, this mindset becomes more important, not less. People who understand AI clearly will be able to use it effectively without over-relying on it. They will know when to trust it and when to step in, and they will remain responsible for the decisions that matter. People who misunderstand AI may either avoid useful tools out of fear or delegate too much authority to systems that cannot take responsibility. Neither extreme leads to good outcomes. The future of AI is not about machines becoming more human. It is about humans becoming more thoughtful about how they use machines. Clear thinking, responsibility, and judgment will continue to matter, and those qualities will shape how AI influences work, society, and everyday decisions. Understanding this helps people move forward with confidence rather than confusion, and with control rather than fear. The most important thing to remember about artificial intelligence is not how impressive it looks, but how limited it actually is. AI can process enormous amounts of information. It can generate language quickly, and it can assist with many tasks that would otherwise take humans a long time. But it does not understand meaning, it does not understand responsibility, and it does not understand why a decision matters. When people misunderstand this, they often fall into one of two extremes. Some people trust AI too much. They assume that confident answers mean correct answers, and they begin to rely on systems that cannot take responsibility for their outcomes. Other people fear AI too much. They imagine machines replacing human judgment entirely or taking control away from people, and they avoid tools that could actually be useful when used correctly. Both reactions come from the same misunderstanding. AI is neither a thinking mind nor an independent decision maker. It is a tool that reflects patterns in data and responds based on probability. The responsibility for how AI is used always remains with humans. Humans decide what goals matter. Humans decide what risks are acceptable. And humans must take responsibility when something goes wrong. Understanding how AI actually works replaces fear with clarity. It replaces hype with realistic expectations. And it allows people to use AI in a way that supports human judgment instead of replacing it. AI does not need to become more human to be useful. It needs humans who understand its limits and use it wisely. That understanding is what truly matters going forward. If you enjoyed this topic and want more videos like this, make sure to subscribe. If the video helped you, you can leave a like. If not, you can dislike it. I'll survive. Thanks for watching.